Hey folks, Travis Durick here, product manager at Peplink. As we all navigate this COVID-19 global pandemic, there's obviously a really enhanced need for mobile connectivity for medical facilities. And so today I'm just going to show you some different solutions that Peplink has for mobile connectivity, especially when we talk about deploying them rapidly as we all need to do right now. So ever since Peplink was started, really the focus has been on unbreakable connectivity, anytime, anywhere. And so obviously that message is even more relevant today as we try and get medical facilities up and running and ready for this crisis that we're facing. We'll show you a case study here, a recent one out of a prominent university in Hong Kong. This client was an existing Peplink customer, but in the response to COVID-19, this university had to close all of their classrooms, send all of their professors home, and try and resume operations remotely. And right away, it became immediately apparent that the professors' internet connections just weren't good enough in a lot of cases to sustain a productive classroom setting. Doing remote video instruction live over the internet sounds great, and it definitely makes this challenge easier, but the problem is, again, it's all hinged on that last leg, that professor's internet connection. If that's not good, none of the students are going to have a productive experience. And so they were scrambling to try and find a way to make this remote presentation system work better so that it could be a productive tool for their students to use. So what they did is they took our new Peplink UBR, and they deployed that to all their professors' homes. And so they've got landline and cellular connections at the professors' homes. So the UBR is a 2-modem product. It's got 2 different cellular radios in it, and then you can also plug it into a landline WAN. So you've basically got 3 different internet connections that you can use to protect your traffic, whatever's important to you, and in this case, those remote video lectures. So each professor was sent out a Peplink UBR. They plugged it into their home broadband, and then they used the dual cellular connections to augment that home broadband, because again, that home broadband just wasn't high enough quality to really sustain these videos. So that system tunneled all that traffic to the cloud. All of that remote lecture material got wrapped up with SpeedFusion, so it was triple protected up to the cloud. And then all of the students were able to log in remotely using their own existing internet connections to view that video. So let's take a deeper look at the UBR LTE. So again, like I said, there's 2 cellular connections in here. You can see antenna ports for cellular 1, cellular 2. It's got built-in Wi-Fi. It's got that Ethernet WAN port, and then 4 Ethernet LAN ports, so you can get all kinds of devices, phones, computers, cameras, whatever you need plugged into this device. It's got a ruggedized power connector. But again, the real magic here is SpeedFusion. You've got 2 different cellular connections and 1 wired connection so that you can utilize all sorts of different connections to protect your traffic. So you can do all sorts of traffic steering policies so that perhaps you're doing remote meetings over Skype. You can tell the UBR, okay, I want to protect my Skype traffic using WAN smoothing. WAN smoothing gives you that packet duplication so that you don't get any loss in video quality, you don't get any gaps in your audio. But let's say for your email, you could send that over a hot failover, just so that if one of your links suddenly goes down, that email doesn't stop sending, it just seamlessly switches over to a different link. So again, you can create custom outbound traffic steering policies to protect the traffic with the most appropriate SpeedFusion policy. So here's another case study that we want to look at. This is, again, a very recent case study in response to the COVID-19 outbreak. So this was done using our partner West Networks in Florida in the United States. And a longtime customer of theirs, Parkland Hospital in Texas, reached out and said, we're trying to scale up our mobile operations so that we can be ready. And so we need to roll out several mobile clinics with the best possible internet connection. And so West Networks jumped into action right away, got out there on site, and started installing a Peplink system to meet their needs. So here's a diagram to kind of break down what they did for this mobile healthcare setup. So at the hospital on the left, you can see that gray circle, that's the hospital. We've got internet connections coming into the hospital. And they've got this whole existing stack of network routers, switches, firewalls. And obviously in a hospital medical setting, privacy and security is absolutely paramount. And so that's the really cool thing is with Peplink's vast array of integration features, you're able to bolt on this whole new overlay for this really robust mobile connectivity in a way that's really friendly to the existing network. So there's lots of different ways you can implement and integrate a Peplink SpeedFusion setup into an existing network without having to kind of start over from scratch on the security side of it. So on the right side, that's the mobile side. So we've got mobile clinics. You can see there's a couple different mobile clinics here on the right, and there's smaller pop-up clinics. And so in each of these scenarios, you've got 4 modem, 2 modem connections, and you can home those all back to that SDX in the hospital, so that each of them can use all the different internet connections they have out in the field to give you enhanced throughput and enhanced application performance, all using the military level security of SpeedFusion's VPN. So this makes it super easy to scale up new sites. You don't have to go and retool the whole network. You can add more and more sites as the demands are needed. So here's an even closer look at how this is working at an individual site level. So on the left, we've got the mobile clinic. You can see there's 4 different LTE connections there. We've got the internet in the middle, and then at the right, we've got the hospital. And so the unique thing about SpeedFusion as compared to other multi-modem solutions out there is we're doing packet level SD-WAN. That's something, again, other multi-modem products just don't have the capability to do. And so what that gives you is it gives you unlimited number of paths that your traffic can take so that it's always got the best performance. So again, on the mobile side, we've got 4 LTE connections. On the hospital side, you can see there's 2 fiber connections. So what SpeedFusion is able to do is it's able to basically turn those connections into 8 different paths that any single packet could take. And so if you send it from the first LTE connection to the second fiber connection, like you see with packet 1 there, all of a sudden that path becomes a little less than optimal. You've got basically 7 other paths that you could send that traffic through. And that's all dynamic, sub-second, automatically happening in the background. Nobody has to manage that. Nobody has to monitor that. We make sure performance is going to be optimized all the time, no matter what the situation on the ground is like. So another product that fits into this rapid deploy model really well is our SDX. This is a modular enterprise grade router. Oftentimes we see this put into data center sites, but this is also a relevant model for a remote site. If you've got a high-end remote asset, mobile clinic, mobile command center, the SDX can fit in great there as well too. But again, oftentimes we see this on the data center side to kind of put all the SpeedFusion traffic back together with. So the SDX has 2 different integrated SFP plus 10 gig WAN ports. It's also got 8 PoE LAN ports. And of course, it includes SpeedFusion SD-WAN and our in-control central management. But it's also got this expansion slot on the right so that you can put whatever interfaces you need more of. So there's 3 different basic categories of add-on modules you can get for this. There's LTE modules, so you can get the latest 4G technologies or 5G technologies. And then there's Ethernet modules, so you can get 8 additional Ethernet ports if that's important to you, or there's more fiber ports if that's what you need. So you can customize this for wherever you're putting it. So again, if it's going into a mobile clinic, you could add LTE interfaces. If it's going into a data center, you could maybe add some more fiber interfaces. Another product that fits great into our rapid deploy solutions is the HD4 MBX. HD4 MBX is a 4 cellular solution, so it's got 4 built-in cellular radios on it. But you can also plug a variety of other connections into it. So there's 3 Ethernet WAN ports. So if you've got like VSAT connections, or the location you've driven up to has some sort of fixed line internet, or maybe you've got a microwave point-to-point link or something like that. You can plug all kinds of different internet connections into this in addition to those 4 built-in LTE connections. You've got Wi-Fi LAN and Wi-Fi WAN. So again, if there's a hotspot nearby, you can hook up to that. And then there's 8 PoE LAN ports, so you can plug all kinds of cameras, access points, and any computing devices you need into this router as well. So if we look at the back of the router here, this is where you can see the LTE radios. And the really cool thing here is this is a modular product as well. So you can see that tray on the top clicks in. So you can buy it with gigabit LTE connections today, and tomorrow as 5G becomes more available, you can swap that radio module out and upgrade the router to 5G without having to buy a whole new router. The other cool thing about this is it's got the horsepower to handle 5G. So it's 2.5 gigs of throughput. So as that 5G bandwidth becomes available, again, you can scale the capacity of this router up without having to replace it. Next up in our rapidly deployable arsenal is our PDX. And this thing is the epitome of rapid deploy. So the PDX is a lot like the MBX that we just showed you. It's got 4 built-in LTE connections, and it's got a lot of nice portability features. It's completely integrated. So it's in this nice ruggedized weatherproof case. All of the antennas are built into the cover. And then you've got this nice patch panel on the top and external ports on the outside so that you can map any of the PoE-enabled ports integrated into the unit to external ports. So you could run video cameras, you could run any sort of Wi-Fi access point, maybe IP phones. You've got all sorts of connectivity options that you can map out using that patch panel on the top. Now it's also got 3 different bays there that you can see on the left that support either batteries or additional radios. So again, it's got 4 built-in LTE radios, but maybe there's a particular frequency or a particular network you want to get in on. You can drop in a SpeedFusion engine into one of those ports, or again, you can drop batteries in there. So each battery is going to give you about 3 hours of connectivity. So you can drop 3 batteries in there and get you through a full workday without being plugged into anything. Now you've also got AC and DC power plugins on the outside of it. So you can take any sort of power that's available to you, or again, switch over to battery if that's what you need to do. But again, this is the best possible solution for remote portable connectivity. And it's a solution that we've already had used in the field for this COVID-19 response. One of our partners located in Europe had a very special request come into them from the prime minister of their country. They had the need to get some mobile staging areas set up, and they needed a rich enterprise video solution at those staging centers so that they could coordinate with other offices around the country. And that enterprise video solution they were using required layer 2 connectivity between the remote site and the central codec. And so what they were able to do is take this PDX and get that going on site, get a layer 2 SpeedFusion tunnel set up, and drop an MBX in at the central site. And literally overnight, they were able to get this layer 2 connection up and running to a remote site out in the field. And this is something the government did not think was possible. And quite frankly, it's not easy to do in most cases. Trying to get layer 2 connectivity over a bonded multicellular solution is really only possible with Peplink. And so they were able to deploy this overnight, and the government was wowed. They were just really impressed, and of course, really thankful that they were able to continue their disaster operations on schedule. So another solution that I'm going to show you now is something brand new. This is something that we planned on pulling the curtains back on later this year, but given the urgent need for everybody to get rapid communications up and running, we're deciding to launch this now. And that's our SpeedFusion Cloud. So typically with SpeedFusion, you need 2 routers, or you need a router and a cloud appliance. And so there's a little bit of integration required to make that all work. And so what SpeedFusion Cloud does is it takes that second piece of the puzzle out of your hands so that you don't have to do that integration. All you need to do is get your remote sites a Peplink router. And then there's a checkbox in the router's UI to connect to the SpeedFusion Cloud. Check that box, click Save. Now you've got that SpeedFusion connectivity out to a global network of SpeedFusion peers that we've already established and are monitoring and maintaining, so that you've got a high quality cloud side network always available, always on demand, and we're going to offer that free for the first 90 days so that anybody can get a SpeedFusion network up and running really, really fast. So if you check out this forum post, you can see some details of that. But again, this is a really exciting solution that we just had to get out the door now to help get as many people connected and help people protect whatever applications are important to them responding to this crisis. So with that, I thank you for your time. Check us out, peplink.com. Check out our social media profiles. And if you've got more questions, just shoot over a question to marketing@peplink.com, and we'll get you the answers you need to get whoever you need to get connected up and running. Thank you.